Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 3rd of March. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pia.
Gary, bottle of Moe is on the table.
Together
with two beautiful, I think they're Waterford glasses. Lovely champagne glasses. The bottle of Moe is on the table and getting ready to be opened because, Gary, we've just had a record-breaking weekend at Gary Pia and Associates.
We've never ever sold a greater value of dollars in real estate, Philip.
So in one weekend, we have cleared just under, a fraction under $30 million worth of real estate.
It was a good weekend, Philip.
We had the most incredible weekend, Gary. I didn't think that we would hit the number that we did.
No, we did.
We sold 23 out of 25 auctions.
We did, including those sold before.
Sold before, absolutely, because for those people that watched GPTV last week, I think we talked about
20 or 21, yeah.
But we actually sold a couple before auction, so our tally was 23 out of 25, 92% clearance, actually exactly 92%. The industry, Gary, cleared 79%.
Oh, is that a tower I can see on the screen?
I think
it is.
There's a tower coming, Gary.
A little bit of sparkle on the top there, Phil.
A little bit of boasting there. But,
an exploding tower, perhaps, with some champagne coming out of it.
I thought I'd bring out a bottle of French champagne, Gary, because not that we're necessarily Francophiles, but there's nothing like a...
What?
Francophiles.
What's a Francophile?
A Francophile, Gary, is somebody that is a lover of France, I think.
Francophiles.
Francophile.
So you've got Francophilia, have you?
I'm not sure whether Francophilia is the same as Francophile. But no, a Francophile, Gary, is a lover of all things French, which I'm not, by the way.
So you brought it out because?
Because when we celebrate in the real estate game, we tend to be a little bit Francophilish and we drink French champagne. And not that there's anything wrong with Australian champagne, but did you know, Gary, you can't actually say that there is a Australian champagne.
Well, all I know
Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because the French champagne producers from the region of Champagne, they apparently took out an international lawsuit against everybody else that was calling their sparkling white wine champagne and said, no, if it's not from the region of Champagne in France, you can't call it champagne.
So that's why we call it spearmanty, mate. Have you a spearmanty?
We just call it a lovely, I'll have a glass of sparkling, love.
When I was young, I drank a lot of champagne and I wasn't well, and I know why they called it spearmanty afterwards. I can tell you that much, Philip.
Anyway, that's
classy
enough about a bottle of Moe.
Okay,
but, we are celebrating.
The other reason that it's here is because the vendor wasn't looking and you took it out of their fridge.
Correct.
Phil, let's review the weekend. We can't go through every auction because it would be ever so boring, but let's talk about many of them, Phil. And we've got a couple of little special treats, but let's talk about some of the auctions that were. We started off, Philip, in Carnegie in Belsize Avenue. I did go and see Lou or Samuel in operation there. We thought we'd get around 1112. The price is undisclosed, but I can say, Philip, it was well.
Is it undisclosed?
Well,
I'm pretty sure I saw the price in Saturday's auction.
It says undisclosed here.
Okay.
So it's well in excess.
If you go to the Age newspaper and have a look at the auction results on Sunday, I think you might find it there, but it was a big price.
Lots of buys, lots of action. He did a great job, Leo Samuel, in Carnegie.
Gary, we've got an announcement about Carnegie coming
at some point in
viewers'
time
way, where the Samuel brothers will be featured, so stay tuned.
Philip, 348 Inkerman Street, we were expecting somewhere in that kind of eights, but we sold it for significantly more. You did that auction. Tell us a little about.
Gary, single-fronted house, gorgeous, $950, competitive auction, held it inside, and we had two buyers that just got stuck into it, even though that there were, I think, 4 buyers there to buy it.
2 Olympia Court was in Ormond, Phil, another favourite suburb of ours. You conducted that auction, the price undisclosed, but tell us a bit about the auction anyway.
Well, Gary, we had, the price might be undisclosed, but we were quoting $900 to $1 million. Okay. Right? The first bid was $1 million.
Okay. So read that what you will.
So I'm not going to say the final price, but let it be known that it was highly contested from the first bid onwards. And let's talk about Ormond McKinnon. It just continues to be re-rated from a price point of view.
Although it's funny, I must say, because I looked at the auction results yesterday. I haven't looked at them today. I should say I looked at them on Sunday, not on Monday.
Yes.
But because Monday's very busy, Philip, isn't it?
Yes.
So I looked at them Sunday, and there were 4 auction results in McKinnon.
Yes.
But there was only 1 sale in McKinnon.
So are you saying that we had the only sale and 3 others were passed
on Sunday we did, yes.
Well, if only those vendors had have entrusted the team at Gary Pia and Associates, you would have a sold sticker on your board today. Please feel free to ring us at any time. But I was in the process of saying Ormond and McKinnon, off the back of McKinnon High School, continues to be re-rated. It is a go-to suburb. People are just There seems to be no limit as to what people pay to be there.
249A Bamborough Road, Phil.
Well, I'm going to talk about that one, Gary. I'm going to cut you short because you did the auction on that, Gary.
I did, Phil. I just want to say that the price range 680 to 750, reserve at the top end of the range, a little above.
Yep. Well, I'm very proud, viewers, to say that one of my properties had been sold prior to auction, so I had an hour off, which gave me the opportunity to go and have some lunch or a cup of coffee. But no, I chose to go and see my partner in action because I don't often get to see him do an auction. And I want to just tell you, Gary, I thought you were fantastic.
Thank you very much, Philip.
A couple of things that I'd like to point out that you need to focus on, right? And this is all positive. First of all, your hair looked great, right? And it looks great today. So I think you've got to make sure when you're in the public face that you always got to look good. Your eyebrows have got to be done. Your hair's got to be great. And you did look good on Sunday. I also noticed you were wearing a new Hugo Boss suit that your wife had picked out for you on your last trip to America.
Right.
Well, I noticed that. Okay. And it was figure hugging. Oh, yes. Cut into the right places. You looked a lot sharper and you looked also a lot more buff than you really are, because I've seen you naked and I've got to tell you, that suit hides a multitude of sins. So you looked great. You had the crowd eating from your hand. I thought you were charismatic. And not only did you do all of those things, but you sold it brilliantly well.
Thank you, Phil.
And I'm just going to show up on screen a quick couple of
selfie,
photos.
You took a little selfie there.
I took a selfie of both of us.
You did, very nice.
Anyway, I thought you looked great. You did a great job. And we sold that. What was the final price?
882,000, which is all I really wanted to say.
Which is more than $100,000 over the reserve. So viewers, you can have confidence if you do list your property with us and one of the salespeople says, I want Gary to do your auction. All I can say is, I've seen him in action, and I rated you, Gary. I gave you a 6 out of 10.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Which is well up on the 4 out of 10 I've given you before.
Great.
Actually, no, you weren't a 6 out of 10, Gary. I'm going to rate you as a 9.5 out of 10. Only reason I'm not giving you 10 out of 10, I don't want you to get cocky.
Thanks for that. Okay. Glad we've dispensed with that. Philip, Kurrigal Road was sold. We thought we'd get somewhere around those low ones, in that low 1 million, but it sold for $1,205,000. Competitive auction.
And well done to Nikki Janova, who handled that property from start to finish.
She did.
And in her inimitable, smiling, gorgeous way,
she is.
Got a great result.
She's a lovely lady.
Philip, the buyers and sellers just love her. She has got this incredible, unique smile that just wins people over.
And she's won us over the years, hasn't she? Because we love her. Philip, the only reported sale in McKinnon on Saturday in the entire suburb of McKinnon was the property that I had the pleasure of auctioning for Adam Josky and team and co. And that was number 11 Capitol Avenue, McKinnon, Philip. Reserve there was $1,200,000 and it sold for $1,300,000, a very competitive auction, 4 bidders.
Not only was it a competitive auction, not only was the vendor there incredibly happy, but a lovely real estate story because Adam took one of the underbidders to the house next door.
He did.
And sold it with no open for inspections, no advertising, no auction, no fuss. The vendors are absolutely delighted. And if I can get their permission, I might just show this Facebook screenshot because I saw yesterday on Facebook the owners of that property absolutely raving about him. So I might just show that up. And if I don't show it up, it's because we haven't been given permission to do so.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure whether you actually have to ring Mark Zuckerberg to get permission from Facebook.
Well, you should. Yeah, you haven't chatted with him for a while.
I haven't actually.
You should
I might look him up, might send him an email. Might send him a Facebook email.
He might be out with Rupert Murdoch. You can catch up with him for lunch. 84 River Street. The price is undisclosed, Phil, but we go from McKinnon to South Yarra. We swan all over Victoria.
Well, Gary, I did what time was that auction? That auction was
2:30.
2:30. Well, at 1:30 I was doing that auction in Kurrigal Road. Yes. It was quite a long auction. Didn't drop the hammer until 2:05. And I look at it and I've got 25 minutes.
That's plenty
to
of time.
Get from, well, it's not actually on a Saturday with South Yarra traffic. Anyway, at 29 minutes past 2 o'clock, I ring Jeremy Rosens, who's handling the property, and he says, "Oh no, I'm dreading this call. Tell me how far away you are." Anyway, I'm just pulling out of Alexandra Avenue into River Street at 29 minutes past.
Did a pit stop, they unloaded the car.
So, all good. Thank goodness for mobile phones.
Philip,
anyway, great result there, by the way.
Yes, undisclosed.
Sold hundreds of thousands of dollars over reserve.
Now we start off, some people have said on GPTV, they want to know about the properties that aren't sold, what can they buy now? Well, you've got an opportunity in Crottenhurst Avenue. It may not even be here by the time this gets to air, but that is a wonderful property. What a great street, 16 Crottenhurst Avenue, unsold but available.
Gary, we passed it in, but we had an offer that evening at $100,000 more than the pass-in result.
Yes.
And I think it may well get sold this week, Gary.
I think so.
And if you're interested in excess of 7,000 square feet on the north side in Crottenhurst with the most magnificent 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom family home, come along and have a look at that.
The other apartment that surprisingly, or the other property that surprisingly didn't sell is apartment 6 at 64 Alma Road, available at $575, a snap purchase at that price, I'd suggest, Philip. Sunday, moving on, Salisbury Street was my first auction, Philip.
You say Salisbury, Gary, but I think the English would pronounce it as Salisbury.
Oh, because Peter Gabriel had a song called Salisbury Hill.
Well, you know, so if you're going to say it, I think with the correct English, would you refer to it, please, as Salisbury?
Yes, but we're in Australia. We say
you say
Salisbury.
Salisbury, Gary. I say Salisbury.
That one was sold, Philip, for $1,320,000. A great job from Adam Josky and co again. He's had a monster weekend. Then I went off to Alexander Street. That was a hot auction, Phil. Lots of competition, 4 or 5 bidders going for it. Terrific apartment. Benjamin Rothschild was the handling agent, did a fine job, sold for $780. And I got to Albert Street because you were in Albert Street. The price is undisclosed, Philip, but that was a very successful sale that you made, and thank you to the vendors for the opportunity.
It was very successful, Gary. Interestingly, that was an auction where I didn't have to put a vendor bid. No vendor bid was made. We opened the bidding. A bidder came straight out of the blocks at $1,500,000, and on it went from there. And I've got to tell you, viewers, if you happen to be purchasers, you don't have to wait for the auctioneer to put in a vendor bid. If you want to buy a property, just start bidding furiously.
Rosalie Street, Phil, that was a hot auction, went nuts, sold for $976,000, way above expectations.
The viewers will be interested in this, Gary. We sold a property in this development. Now, it's a lovely little development.
It is.
We sold, I think about 6 months ago, virtually similar, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, similar condition. We sold there one there 6 months ago in the 8s, I think it was 870 or 880. So 6 months later, $100,000 increase. That's a good real estate story. A really good, interesting real estate story.
It is,
even if I do so say myself.
18 Takapuna Street was a great auction. The price is undisclosed. We were expecting around 1.1 to 1.2. Sold it for way in excess of that.
I have to say, viewers, with due respect to our vendors and our buyers, and we try to follow their wishes, you know, you have a public auction where we get lots of people coming to our auctions. You know, most people would rather come to our auctions than go to the football or go out for lunch or have a barbecue or go on holidays. You know, our auctions are fun, so people come out.
They do.
So when we have an auction, we sell them publicly, and then the buyer or the seller says, I want the price undisclosed, and yet there were hundreds of people standing out the front witnessing the sale.
Well, we have to respect their wishes. Funnily enough, Philip, in this case,
both buyer and seller
in this case, the vendor said it was fine, but the buyer said no, I want to undisclose. And in fact, we don't really, I think, legally need to oblige that request, but because we're decent people,
it's good,
and people are private and they want privacy, we will do that. Although other agents I know don't always and have become
and a lot of other agents don't do things as nicely as we do, and may they continue to operate that way.
Because we're the nice agents.
We are. We're the nice, friendly agents.
We'd like to think of ourselves
the agents that you'd have over for your birthday party.
It's a caring, loving episode, this one, Phil. 10 Lithgow Avenue, Philip, that was sold. It's been the same family for 34 years, price undisclosed, magnificent property with a tennis court. Interesting story in terms of the buyer, because the buyer was some people that we actually collected at the train station to bring to the auction, which is an extraordinary story. But and well done to Judy Zhu for doing that.
Yep, she did.
But a great result, and congratulations to all parties.
Are you going to go through every sale?
Two to go, that's it. You're just cutting me off and making it longer. 3 Hout Road was another nutso result. Very, very popular. Is that price
undisclosed, Gary?
It is undisclosed, Philip. We're not going to talk about it, but congratulations and well done on a great auction. I missed it because I was at the last auction and it went for so long. And I was there tying things up, Philip, because
big, strong result. Mind you, Howitt Road is the #1 street in Caulfield North, and it was on the western side, and it was a bigger than usual block. And we sold it to a lovely couple who have been in the market for some time, so congratulations to that family.
We finished with number 67 Carlingford Street, Philip. We were quoting 1.9 to just over 2 to 2.1, that sort of range, and it took off, Phil, and sold for a lot more. It is not undisclosed.
Hang on, are we talking about we're talking about Carlingford.
Yeah, I'm jumping around everywhere.
Well, I happened to look on Facebook again on Sunday afternoon, Gary, where the vendor had a shout out to her friends via Facebook, saying that the property had sold for $160,000 above her expectations, and her expectations weren't modest.
No,
I don't mind saying, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, of course. So it's amazing what's going on Facebook now. The property people are talking about it. That's when you know the property market's hot, when Facebook is devoting lots of things to
reports and results, and sold for $2,360,000. Philip, that is a significant price for a home in South Caulfield.
Yes.
But well done to the vendor. The vendor is, in fact, somebody that's been in the real estate game many, many years in the local market.
Maxine.
So hello, Maxine, and congratulations, and thanks for letting us do it for you. So before we go, Phil, a couple of properties to review, because no auctions this weekend, but we're going to do something very unique for the first time on GPTV. We're going to cut away to a bit of video, Phil, for a special property that goes up in 2 weeks' time on Saturday morning. This is in the Esplanade in Brighton.
Apartment.
What a great property. We're going to cut away and show a little bit of this video that you recorded. It's called a virtual tour, Phil. Let's go and show it to the viewers now.
Hello, my name's Phillip Kingston from Gary Peer & Associates. Welcome to the heart of Brighton, where living here is like being on holiday 24/7, 365 days per year. Just imagine this is going to be your front garden, your back garden. Your friends are going to be completely jealous. We're about to cross the road and see the most magnificent apartment with sweeping views of all of this. I can't wait to show you through, so let's go on a tour. It's so rare to be able to find a ground floor apartment in a small boutique building of only 4. And with 3 magnificent bedrooms and huge entertaining areas means this apartment is an absolute rarity. The kitchen is, of course, the heart of every home, and this one is quite magnificent. It's been cleverly designed to overlook all of the entertaining areas, but most importantly, it has a clear view to the bay. Can you imagine coming home, pouring yourself a drink, preparing dinner, and just watching the sunset? This really is an apartment of international standard and proportions and includes 4 basement car parks. And we're only a short walk to the vibrant and ever-evolving Church Street, Brighton. If you're in the market for something truly special, please give me a call for a private inspection, or I can't wait to see you at our weekend opens. So Gary, how amazing is that property?
Fantastic.
And you're right on the water. Filming there on the water was just incredible, and the smell of the sea, it was just great. Great spot
fantastic.
there. Speaking of great spots, Gary, here we are at number 27B, Orong Crescent, and we sold the other side to this last year.
A while ago,
but this is the builder's own, and it is just a delight to not only be sitting here, but to be marketing this property.
Now this builder is very fussy, Philip.
He is
very, very fastidious.
Well,
fussy.
I actually referred to him on the virtual tour as fastidious and pedantic,
and
which is a compliment.
That's who you want to buy from, Phil.
Absolutely,
you want to
Gary.
buy from fussy and
no expense was spare here.
No.
No shortcuts were taken. This is the most incredible property, and I'm looking forward to this auction, Gary, because this is, I think this is inner suburban living at its most magnificent.
Take us just a little walk through quickly, Phil.
Well, Gary, big entertaining areas, everything that opens and shut, beautiful marble bench tops, oak floors. It's even got a lift that takes you up should you not want to take the stairs. The main bedroom, Gary, is like checking into the suite of a luxury hotel. How good would it be to own this, Gary?
It would be fantastic, and of course you've got cafes, 2 of them now, just at the end of the street, plus all of the other terrific features of the area that we know as Caulfield North. My home, Philip, Caulfield North.
Gary, I'd like you to have a close look as we speak at my face.
Yes.
What do you notice about my face today, given the fact that I did 11 auctions on the weekend and it was hot? What do you notice about my face? Come on, give me your best shot.
Well, I don't know whether you've had Botox or not, but if you did, it wasn't very successful.
Okay.
I hope you haven't paid for it.
No, well, I have not yet, viewers, had Botox, but that's not. I'm not ruling it out, but I haven't. Gary, my face, you'll see, is not sunburnt.
No, your nose is good, though.
Thank you, thank you. And I'm looking at an email here. I want to shout out to Lauren Kessel.
Yes.
Because last week I asked for some tips on sunburn cream, and she wrote in saying, get the moisturiser with sunscreen. I'm reading this.
It's called the Kessel cream, is that right?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's the Cancer Council SPF 30 75ml face moisturiser untinted. So I bought it on the weekend. I did 11 auctions outside it, and I'm very happy to say that I'm not sunburned.
Good on you. Good on you, Lauren,
for that tip.
You're very helpful.
And I'm now, that was the untinted version.
Can we send Lauren some tickets, some gold class tickets?
Do you know what? Let's do it.
We're going to send you some gold class tickets. Have a night out at the movies.
That was the untinted version that I bought. I'm going to buy the tinted version.
What's that going to do?
Well, that's just going to give me a little bit more colour, so I'm not so anemic.
Well, you won't need it next weekend at your auctions because you haven't got any, Philip.
Oh,
and so you can have a nice weekend because this is the nice agents version or show, or episode, I should say, of GPTV. We're in autumn. It's all happening. The market is on fire, Phil, and price is very strong. The number of bidders per auction was incredible.
As the leaves are fluttering down from the trees, Gary, the prices continue to rise.
Well, the bidders are jumping down with them, perhaps, because there's plenty of them out there, and it's all happening in and around Melbourne. We will continue to keep you advised on GPTV. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.